Hi all, Hal here with more Empyrion, and today we're going to take a look at the 7.5 update. Yes, that's right, 7.5. They have skipped a complete iteration because they introduced a bunch of fixes, some new items, like these wonderful solar panels that you see before us. And yeah, so we're going to go take a look through it all, but first we have to get started. So let's go. Hello everybody. So, we are actually currently in survival mode, and I want to show you what we can actually build now. So they have changed a bunch of things up. Let's go ahead and look in here really quick. So some of the things that they have changed, they have now introduced these force field emitter blocks. These things are airtight, and what they do is they allow you to have basically a force field instead of a door. So if you wanted to have an open hangar, you could actually build these things for your base or capital vessel. You can use them on all of the vehicles, including the small and hover vessel as well. And from what I've seen, they all unlock at level 7, I believe. All the way down the board, yeah. So in theory, when you unlock one, you should unlock all of them. We'll find out when we get there. We're only level 4. So I am in, like I said, I am in survival mode. I wanted to see how easy some of these things were to make. They have now introduced solar panels, and they have a solar capacitor. Now, I don't know if these work on everything, because I'm not seeing them for the CVs. And I'm assuming, actually I should just mouse over it and check really quick. Okay, so these are base only. Now, what these do is they allow you to generate electricity without having anything else present, but they only generate power in the sunlight. Now, depending on where you are on the planet, you'll be using a different one of these panels. Now, because of where we are, we get away with having the panels either the sloped or the flat, the horizontals. And the reason for that is because it's actually using the calculation of where you are on the planet in relation to the sun. As you can see here, we are mostly at the equator. We're a little bit south of the equator, so we can get away with using the horizontal because of the fact that it's getting pretty much directly overhead light going from the east to west path here. But we also are far enough south that we can use the diagonal or the sloped, because it also is getting full exposure. Now, what this means is that if you have an area set up for a solar farm, and you are somewhere on the equator, you're probably going to use a combination of them, because as the sun sets, what will happen is these indicators will start to decline. This because it's 4 indicators here that tells you that you are getting full sunlight. The less light you get, the lower these will go. Eventually they'll turn off or go red when you're at night. So this is really nice for when you're out and about and you're working someplace where you have a lot of light. And you can actually use these on space stations as well. So if you place a base in orbit, you can, as long as you keep the cells angled towards the sun, you'll be able to get at least some kind of trickle charge. Now, the other thing that they added was the capacitor, which is this little device right here. It is a solar capacitor, and it will tell you that it's a capacitor, solar. And the nice thing that this does is when you come over here into your interface now, they now have a battery area. So, in theory, they're saying it's infinite power. You're currently storing this because we're not using so much power. All of our extra is going towards the battery. Now, if you use just a battery without solar, I don't believe it'll allow you to store the charge. I think it will still use your fuel. Now, I do believe that, as you can see here, we're not seeing any decrease in the amount of fuel time because the solar is putting out enough power that it's not actually needing to take our fuel. As you can see, the fuel is actually trying to go up because there's so much power coming off of the 2 solar panels. Now, I know what you're asking, Hal. These are really cool, but they're probably really expensive to make, aren't they? Actually, they're not. You can craft them in your survival constructor of all things. So if you come over here to the solar panel, it's simply 2 glass plates, 2 steel plates, 1 fiber optic cable. Just to show you how little this actually is, it's basically you need 2 silicon ingots, 3 silicon, total of 3 silicon ingots so far, and it was a steel plate, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, 2 steel plates. So for 2 iron ingots, 3 silicon ingots, you can make these things. Once you've made them, you can place them anywhere on your grid, like you would any other any other block for your grid. And then you also make a capacitor, which is honestly, obviously a little bit more expensive. But if you're just needing power and for some reason you can't get the Promethean, especially if you're playing in a much harder difficulty, like if you play on the hard difficulties, these things are going to be really easy to get very early in game. And I'm actually very happy to see them. It's something that I personally have been asking for a while, and I'm glad that they finally got them installed into the game. So, makes it nice, so nice that we actually have power. And see, because the power is increasing, you can see our fuel is increasing as well. Which I'm kind of curious if I'm gonna have to try this. I'm thinking I'm gonna let this charge fully up, and I want to see what it does for fuel, because I'm kind of curious if we can pull fuel out off of the battery charge. Because looking at this, it's going up. So, in theory, well, let's see here. Let's go manage. Yeah, see, you can't pull any power out. Okay. Yeah, see, normally if I do 500 or 200, it'll let me pull some blocks out. So yeah, okay, so you can't pull it out. That's what I was wondering. I wanted to make sure you weren't going to be able to extract Promethean fuel out of the battery pack. Okay, so yeah, that's those are the 2 big changes as far as the new items are concerned. The other thing that they changed, they've basically cleaned up the UI in the skill system a little bit. As you can see, it's a little bit more, I guess, like they went through and they normalized everything, and it's because they've added in some new things here. Under weapons, they haven't really added anything new weapons-wise, but what they did do is they changed ammo requirements. And they did this basically for all weapons now. Everything has slightly different components. So using the pistol as an example, there we go. So pistol now uses copper ingots and NC powder. Now, I understand the NC powder portion of it. I'm actually fine with that to a point. I still think that there should be an alternative for ammo production, because of the fact that the way that they're introducing things. So the NC powder is a new consumable, or is a new item. In order to get this, you actually use your plant fiber. So 1 plant fiber will give you 20 NC powder. For basic ammo, you take 1 NC powder and 2 copper ingots for your pistol ammo. Now I've unlocked rifle, and that was what I was getting ready to do, is to place this down so we could take a look and see what the rifle ammo is going to cost us. Can we link you there? Come on. Come on, let me... No, I didn't want to have to do it this way. Right. So we'll do it this way. And we're just basically going to give ourselves a little courtyard here. Alright. I would like to have been able to do this without... There we go. Because I have some ideas of what I want to do with the courtyard, with the base design this time around. Come on, thank you. Hey, look at that. Okay. Now we're just screwing around. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this down. We're going to take a look at here. Now, I want to look at weapons. So, yes. See, this is what I don't agree with. The projectiles have gotten much more expensive. We're now looking at 1 NC powder, which is fine. That's cheap. That's easy to get. But you're looking at 4 copper ingots per 50. That's a lot of copper. I mean, that is a lot of copper to be used. And 8 steel plates for the rifle round. It seems like it's a little out of balance. For the folks who are playing Empyrion, if you agree or disagree, let me know down in the comments below if you think what you think about the new ammo balancing. Like I said, I personally feel that that's a little expensive. I could understand like a copper ingot, and then maybe 4 steel plates, because steel plates are pretty cheap. You know, it's like one iron ingot for 10 plates, I think. Let's check that really quick. Yeah, 2 ingots for 10 plates. So 1 ingot per 5. I would say honestly, for the ammo then, I would go even as low as 2 plates. Because you go through so much ammo. Of course, they did increase the ammo to 50 instead of 25. So at 50 rounds, because I'm looking at it for the rate of killing for the damage output for what you're putting into it, and it just seems that that's really bloody expensive. Because if those are 1 NC powder and like 8 plates and 4 per rifle round, that means your base defenses are going to be probably close to 3 times that, somewhere between 2 and 3 times that, if I was just to take a ballpark guess at it. How much do I need to unlock? Base turret. Okay, so I just need to make 1 level. Because I'm curious to find out. Oh, wait, I made the level. Okay. Placing the stuff actually gave me the level. Okay. Even better. Yeah, see? Almost 3 times. But it doesn't require copper. But you now get 70 instead of the 100. Because you used to get, was it 50 or 100? I think it was 100 you used to get. So basically 4 ingots and 4 powder. Yeah, it seems like they're making bullets more expensive. The only other change that they've made that I've really looked at so far is that multi-charges, drill charges, anything that has a basically the Promethean consumables requires plastic material, and these require 5 plastic material for 3 reloads basically. See, but it's only 1 steel plate, and I would be fine with that for the other ammo types. One of the things that they did do also, before I forget, is explosive devices. All explosive devices now require magnesium. You have to have magnesium for explosives now. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, I have to say I'm not a huge fan of the ammo change this time around. It's more in line with what I would have expected. Like I said, pistol rounds, 2 copper ingots. It's kind of expensive, but at least it's not that bad. Requiring twice the copper ingots and steel plates on top of it, you do get twice the ammo, and I think that's where they're trying to balance it, is that since you're 2 copper here, it's 4 copper here for twice the ammo, but you have no copper and get 70, but you need to have more NC powder. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing scales out. Okay, so that's me and my complaining on this. So everything else that they did, or most of the other things that they have changed, really come down to a more of a like bug fix style stuff. They've made some changes to the way that some of the back end things work. They've also addressed some of the crashes. So if you have been playing recently and you've been having any type of game crashes, you might want to try jumping back in again and seeing if it hasn't been addressed, because they have been working on improving game stability overall. And from what I have seen, again, this is just my my personal anecdotal thing here, is that it does seem to be a little bit more stable, and the game performance does seem to be a little bit more dialed in this time around. So hopefully that gives you an idea of some of the things that are going on, give you an idea of what to look for in the game, and we gave you some ideas on how to use some of it as well. Like I said, if you are playing the game and you have feedback for Empyrion, be sure to visit them over on the official forums and let them know what you think about the changes. They're always looking for feedback from users. And the best way to have your voice heard is to go through the official channels. So they do care what people think. They aren't promising to change anything based on general feedback. But if enough people say they don't like it, they will most likely take another look at it. So on that note, I'm going to get out of here. If you did enjoy this or have any questions or comments, feel free to throw them down in the section below. If you haven't done so already, I do ask that you hit that like and subscribe if you want to see more, because the likes, the subscriptions, and even the comments help the channel to grow, and it's greatly appreciated. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you all have a fabulous day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we will see you back here next time for more Empyrion. As always, folks, take care and be safe out there, everybody. Now to go unlock the rest of this stuff and get part 2 done.